Hello, homosexuals. I just wanted to say, I really don't really know what to say, but I'm gonna talk to you about my love life and lack thereof, like I did in the last one, but I'm gonna go in depth this time. So, just so I can vent. The brand. Okay, so the first person we'll call him fuck one. Well, we were friends with benefits before he even came out to me, and then we decided we'd date, and I really didn't want to. It's just long story short. But now, okay, long story short, we don't like each other anymore. It ended very, very poorly because he's like, I don't want to be gay, I hate myself. But I'm like, okay, fuck you. All right, and then, anyways, so then we'll get to the fun stuff. Okay, so like I had like no one basically, and I was really heartbroken. I wasn't heartbroken, but I don't know. I was just pissed. And then we got back together like a year later. Shut up. Let's get back to okay. So wait, we got back together a year later, and then I started to really like him, and then he broke my heart, and I was like, awesome, cool, whatever. Anyway, so then I went on spring break. Okay, so the first one, I loved him, blah blah blah, but then I hated him, and then I went on spring break. Okay, and when we got to spring break, we were sitting there in a bar, me and my mom, my dad, my cousin, my two brothers. It was like it was in Phoenix. Wait, it was in Flagstaff, Arizona. And I was sitting there, my mom business. My dad was being pissy, and everyone was fighting. So I went and I sat over like, near the bar, and I like looked over, and there's just like fucking perfect person just sitting over there, minding his own business. I'm just minding my own business, and I'm just sitting there. I texted my friend. I can say that name. Anyway, so I texted my friend Rachel, and I was just like, "Oh my god, this is perfect fucking person at the bar. I have something to look at for the next 5 hours while I'm here." And she's just like, "Oh well, good for you." And I was just sitting there texting her about my own business, and all of a sudden he came over and he sat next to me, and he goes, "Hey," and I looked over. I'm like, "Me?" And he's just like, yeah, because I'm pretty much the only person over there, so I feel like a fuck." And then I don't know. I texted Rachel like, "What do I say back to him?" I'm gonna. It gets better. You should give me a minute. Being serious. What? This is an interesting story. Okay. Well, anyway, so I was sitting there and I texted Rachel immediately. I'm like, what do I say? And I was like, shit, I'm supposed to say something right now. And she just, that's exactly what she said. She was like, you should probably just say, hey, what's up? And so I was like, hey, what's up? And not much. And so I sat there, we talked, and like I was asking Rachel for advice the whole fucking time. It was absolutely awful because I was sitting there, I don't know how to read people because I've never had to read people before, and it was horrifying experience. Like I could sweat just thinking about it. And I remember she was like, "Put your hand on his finger," and I was like, "What are you talking about? That sounds so creepy." And she was like, "No, really." Like, and I'm like, "He made a move," and I was like, "Wait, no, no, he didn't." And then he did. He sat over like scooted, and I was like, right here, and I was just like, "Okay, what the fuck do I do with this?" She's like, "Is his hand out?" And I was just like, "Kind of." And she's like, "Caress it." And I'm like, "Rachel, that's creepy. Don't say caress. Don't ever say the word caress. I do not caress things." And anyway, so I started caressing, and whatever the fuck that really means, I don't know if I was caressing, but anyhow, we were sitting there and we were talking forever, and I was afraid my parents were gonna look over because I just came out to them like, you know, two like I don't know, like 2 days before that. So then I was really hoping they weren't gonna look at us. And anyway, so they had gone outside, and so I got a lot more comfortable. And they were still fighting, so they ended up leaving because our hotel is like a block away. So they just walked home to the hotel, and then I was sitting there minding my business, and like I kept texting Rachel, so basically, long story short, it was like we're sitting there talking for a couple hours, and then he went to go leave because his friends were leaving. He's like, "No, I'll catch you guys later," and I was like, "Oh, okay, fucking awesome." And so then, long story short, like I don't know, it's weird to say it, but then we kissed, and I was just like, "Okay, I love him." And then I had to leave that night, so I never saw him again. And then we made it all the way to Las Vegas. I was sitting there and I'm like, why the fuck didn't I get his number? Like, I'm fucking retarded. But thinking I'll never see him again. And then we get to Las Vegas. Apparently what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Because, okay, so which this resort, and all these people were fucking perfect. And you have all these, like, lifeguards, and they're boys and girls, and they're all basically naked. And except for, like, cloths over the hoo-haws, that's about it. And anyways, so I was sitting there, my mom business, and like you don't even just tell someone's gay. I mean, obviously when you're gay, you can really tell someone's gay. But I mean, like this person was like, okay, you're gay, but he wasn't like, oh my god. But I don't want to look in. I don't want to look into that. It's awkward. It's very hey. It's okay. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I talked to him for a really long time, and it was just obvious he was gay, and I was really bored because at resorts you think there's a lot to do, but not when you're 17 years old. So, I feel naughty saying it, but we just did sexual stuff. So I loved him, and then I had to leave. Didn't get his number either. And then when we got back, we had to fly back to Detroit. And I was sitting. This is like seriously, like I don't understand. Like I never knew homosexuals really existed because I got back to the airport. I was just talking. I was bored as shit because my mom and dad are like, "You need to get there like 5 days before the plane takes off, otherwise, we'll miss it." And so we're there for like fucking 6 hours before the plane even takes off. So I'm meeting random people, talking to random strangers, and I met like 20 people, and then finally I met this other kid, and we are just sitting there talking forever. And he's like, "What do you say?" He's just like, "So where you going?" And I was just like, "To Indy," and he's just like, "No way." And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" He's like, "That's where I'm going." And I'm just like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Where do you live or something?" He's just like, "Oh, over in Ohio." And I was just like, "Oh," because I mean, if you're at an airport, they could live at like fucking China for all you know. But see, he lives like in Ohio, and I live like right over next door to him. And I'm just like, "Oh, okay, that's really weird." So anyways, we started talking for a long time, and but I didn't even think he was gay at all. But then he ended up like leaving his number, and I was just like, "What?" But then we started texting and everything. He's like, "Yo, yeah, I'm gay. You didn't know that? Oh yeah, I could totally tell you where I'm like, yeah, gee, thanks." But anyways, so therefore we talked for a long time, and actually I have to see. Okay, we stopped talking, but the weird thing is that he's going to the same college that I am, and majoring with the same major that I am, and going in the same month. So I mean, I'll probably see him down there like my second day, and I think it's gonna be really awkward. I'm not excited for that. But anyhow, that was my love life for spring break. Anyways, so I came back from spring break, and the first fuck number one, he hated me, hated me, and so did his best friends, and yada yada. It was a bunch of drama. It was retarded. And then, okay, so this other kid, okay, and this is like a kid that I've been like joking about for the past like ever. I don't know. Like this kid, so he just like randomly comes out, like starts coming out of nowhere, and I'm just like, that's like a random arm scratching me. Anyways, it does because you can't. Anyhow, um, this random kid like just basically came out to me, and I was just like, "Oh hey, what's up?" And yeah, and then we talked for a long time, and then it turns out he doesn't like his sexuality either. So that's why I was like, I hate you homosexuals for not liking your sexuality because it fucks you up. It really fucks you up. And so anyway, so he, fucked me up, and so I fucked his house up. And yeah, he didn't like that. But I knew if I did it, he would never talk to me again. It was a lot easier for him to never talk to me again than it was for me to, sit there and be in distress all the time with his sexuality and shit. So I'm just like, we need to just be done. Anyway, so we trashed his house, and see, I felt really bad about it for the last couple days, just because I feel like I left him out there because like he's not comfortable with it. Neither was number one, but like fuck number one. Like I wouldn't say that I was in love with him or loved him, but basically it was kind of like I loved him as a person, and I didn't like seeing him like that, and because he's never gonna accept himself, he's always gonna be hurt by it because he just doesn't want to be gay. And um, anyway, so that's how he felt, and I felt really, really, really fucking awful about it. Like probably cried like combined like 10 hours in the past few days straight. And yeah, so I texted him tonight, like I don't know, like 10 texts, and then he finally answered back, and he said, "You didn't know that?" No. Yeah. And so I texted him, and I was just like, I'm just trying to say, what we did wasn't right, blah blah blah. Not what we, I didn't say what we did, but I was just like, how this whole thing happened wasn't right, and I'm just like, just so you know, I don't want to be hateful because I really don't need a number, fuck number one. I don't need another one of those in my life, and I don't want you to really be that person because I hate having those kind of people in my life because I don't like to hold grudges. I don't like to hate people, and yeah, he texted me. I'm like, so can we just like be regular, be good, just be. And he's like, no, just no. And I'm like, all right, I'm glad you can make a million mistakes and I can make one, and then you can just hate me. And he's just like, you're the one that said goodbye. And I'm just like, yeah, well, you know what? That's what I'm telling you my mistake was, and I'm just trying to tell you that I'm remorseful for what happened. And he was just being pissy about it, and I'm just like, well, you know what? I'm like, I just want to be good, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I would love to be good, but I just don't know how. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not doing drama. Like, I'm just telling you we are good. Whether you like it or not, we're good. And then I was like, we're not hanging out, but we're good. We're decent. And really give him a choice, actually. So you can think we're bad, but we're actually pretty good. And then I said, I'm like, because he didn't text me back on this one, but I told him, I was like, whether, I'm in New York City, Orlando, LA, no matter where I'm at, when you're finally comfortable with yourself, then you can call me. Like, I just want you to know I am here. And he didn't text me back. So I'm like, so I waited like an hour and I was like, so obviously you're uncomfortable with that statement because you're not comfortable with yourself yet. But that day will come and you can text me. Because I see from like my last videos, I come off like, it's not a big deal, but I actually genuinely get hurt from, I don't know, bastards and like how they feel about themselves and how people don't accept themselves for sexuality because it's something that you have to live with the rest of your life and you can't deny a part of yourself and yada yada. I'm sure most of you guys know the story. But anywho, that's why I hate homosexuals because the only good ones are in Arizona and Nevada. So if you're in Arizona and Nevada, kudos. But if you're in like, Indiana or anywhere in like, like Michigan or Ohio, just no, you're fucked up. You're just completely fucked up. Yeah. So, yeah, because what happens in Vegas, I would fucking love to take what happens in Vegas and bring it back home. I don't. What happens in Vegas needs to come back from Vegas because that was fucking awesome. But what happens at home needs to fucking stay at home while I go to Vegas is what fucking needs to happen. But yeah, so yeah, they didn't. The people that I'm sitting with right now didn't know that I texted him either, so that kind of got interesting. But who am I sitting with? I am sitting with Rapey AP, and yeah.
Literally don't rape, just saying.
And what's your name? Oh, Grant. But I'm sure you guys know Grant. What?
It's like you still got subscribers. No, you didn't. You just took some down place, which is a good thing. I like sharing.
Yeah, if you subscribe to Grant, you have to subscribe to me. It's a pack deal.
Which means you should have 1,000 and some subscribers.
But yeah, not all my videos are like this. I just want to explain why I hate you homosexuals. Because I just want to rant about my life for the next, couple of days. Because it sucks. Really, really, really bad.
I guarantee the first comments are like, oh, Becca, it's okay. Things will get better. It gets better.
Oh yeah. By the way, I know things get better. Like I can't fucking wait to them to get better. But they're gonna get better. It's just fuck them so much. I fucking hate them. But it's whatever. And I'm just gonna keep living my life, doing my thing. The moral of your story is if you're not comfortable with your sexuality, get comfortable or get the fuck out. Well, no, but really, if you're not comfortable with your sexuality, just know that you have to live with it for the rest of your life. And it's like it's true, like what they say. Like if you're not comfortable with yourself, then you can't be with someone else. Like that you have to be happy with yourself before you can be happy with someone else. Because it puts people like me in a really bad situation. Because I'm comfortable with myself, but the people that I was with wasn't, and I really if I'm not over the first one, like if I don't think I don't think I ever will genuinely be over what happened. Like not, I'm over him. I'm just not over the situation. Like I'm not over how I was treated and how everything happened, everything that went down. And it sucks knowing that the first person that I think that I loved that wasn't my family that I could love in that way. I can never talk to them again in my entire life, and that's what sucks. But the second person is just kind of like that only happened in the course of like 3 weeks, and it's not a big deal. But it's just kind of like I felt bad because he's younger, and I felt like I kind of left him in the dust, and that's why I had to apologize to him and tell him that I'm still here someday whenever he does need me, because he's gonna have a rough time, but he already is. But moral of the story is if you're not comfortable with your sexuality, it's just it's who you are, and don't date anyone because they don't deserve that. Girls are boys, period. They just don't deserve. No one deserves that. So if you're gay and you know you're gay, but you're not comfortable with it and you want to fight it, don't date a girl. Like don't screw with her because they have feelings too. Just like trannies and lesbians too. Everyone's got feelings. But I'm sure you know. Well, now you know. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. So, adios, homosexuals, trannies, and bis and
Make sure to thumbs up this video.
lesbians.